So this video is going to be a video on the multiple bounce roll. I'm going to analyze 7 drummers' rolls. Actually, one of them's a guitar player, but he tried. So for this test, I used a Dynasty 12 lug high tension marching snare drum, courtesy of one of my students, with an Evans hybrid marching head, and the snare side head was muted for maximum clarity. So I'm going to start with myself. So you'll notice I'm typically playing 3 strokes per hand, but I'm sort of overlapping them with a flam each time I switch, so there's no gap in the sound. So you get a pretty consistent sound that way. So this is one of my students, Larry. He actually plays more bounces with his right hand than he does with his left, so it results in sort of an uneven, choppy sound. He's working on it. So this example is not even a drummer, but you can tell his strokes are really uneven between his hands, but the strokes are uneven within themselves. There are some slow bounces and some fast bounces, and this causes a really poor roll. So Tim's roll here is going to have a nice precise 3 bounces on the right and the left hand, and that's what's going to give it a much more even feel than the previous roll. Isaac's roll here consists of very even triple strokes, but he plays one stick farther forward on the drum than the other, and that's the only reason it doesn't sound pretty much perfect. So this one's weird because the bounces number anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6 on each hand, so of course it's real weird, but it sounds better at full speed than you'd think. Mike here has a pretty typical triple stroke roll. There's a bit of a hiccup in the middle of it, but once he settles in, it actually sounds really nice because he moves his hands fairly quickly. So the lesson here is that the best rolls in this sample had even triple strokes. So even though it's called a multiple bounce roll, the even groups of 3 seem to sound better. Now, to be a bit biased here, my roll sounded different than everyone else's because I actually overlap my strokes. It almost sounds like I'm flamming them in between. And that overlap causes it to be a bit smoother than the pure triples with no overlap at all.